Voter registration ends tomorrow, and there appears to be a surprising trend for this midterm election. One special horse and her baby are showing the world that everyone deserves a second chance. And in sports, Frank Solich notched his 100th win as the Bobcats' head football coach. See how they got the victory against a conference foe. Newswatch starts right now.
Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens, this is Newswatch.
More people are preparing to come to the polls this year. Good evening, I'm Abby Grisey. Thanks for joining us. Voter registration numbers are up in Ohio compared to November 2016. So far, there has been a 2% increase compared to 2 years ago. According to the Ohio Secretary of State, nearly 8 million people were registered in 2016. Jen Miller with the League of Women Voters of Ohio says she is encouraged by this year's numbers.
We often see a downtick in turnout during midterm elections, but this increase seems to indicate an enthusiasm for politics and voting this year.
According to the Ohio Voter Project, most people registered this year are in the 65 and older age group. But if you haven't registered yet, there's still time. Registration closes tomorrow. Ohioans can register or update their information online on the Ohio Secretary of State website. Request an absentee ballot by mail or in person at any of the County Board of Elections, public libraries, or other agency offices. 2 Kentucky inmates are on the loose after escaping from jail in trash cans. According to the Courier-Journal, Justin Stumler and Jeremy Hunt were working in the jail kitchen Saturday night. That's where they were able to hide in the trash and get out. Both Stumler and Hunt were considered minimum security inmates. Arrest warrants have been issued. Kentucky is taking steps to decrease the number of premature deliveries in the state. A new federal grant will support a Kentucky Early Childhood Program, also known as the HANDS program. The more than $7 million grant is aimed at decreasing the number of low birth weight babies and maternal complications. Officials say the program serves high-risk populations in all 120 Kentucky counties and will help parents up until the child's 3rd birthday. West Virginia and Kentucky colleges are also receiving money. A National Science Foundation grant will help support STEM education. Officials say the grant will support learning initiatives, workshops, and research activities. The goal is to increase the number of STEM bachelor's degrees earned by underrepresented students. A new regulation is working to make sure your drinking water stays safe. The Columbus Dispatch reports that now every public water system in Ohio must notify residents 45 days prior to their repairs. When preparing broken water systems, lead can get into the water, and must provide filters up to 3 months after the repairs to ensure safe drinking water. It looks like Planet Fitness is coming to Athens. The Athens Messenger reports plans were submitted to the city Friday. According to the plan, the gym would be located where Staples used to be on East State Street. The code director's office, the fire department, and the city's engineering and public works department will all review the plans. If everything passes, the city will issue the required zoning certificate.
Welcome back to the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm your forecaster, Cameron Saliga, and we'll take a look at your headlines. Currently, we see there is a hot stretch right now, and we'll continue to see that on into tomorrow. And there's some showers that are expected by Wednesday, and we'll see a cold streak coming through. And currently in Athens, it's 82 out there, hot and humid, and it's going to continue to be that way until tomorrow. And we look around the area, we see temperatures in the 80s, and we will see them continue to be in the 80s tomorrow as well, with some humidity sticking around. And we see the dew points currently right outside 60s, in Athens around 67, so it is a little bit humid outside, and it will continue to be that way overnight and into the morning hours. So we will see a cold break coming in the later part of the week, and we'll back to you.
Thank you, Cameron. We'll hear more from you in your full weather.
Hello to Bunny. She is at her first ever horse show at the Athens County Fairgrounds, all thanks to Better Run Equine, a group that saves horses that are being auctioned for slaughter. they saved not just Bunny, but another special horse too.
She came from an auction where all of these horses come from, where the horse is being bid on for meat. She actually came and was in foal, and she came into our program and almost immediately had her foal, which is a really kind of crazy scenario considering if it had gone to the meat buyer, the baby would have been born on the truck on the way to, to the plant.
Now, she's here at the 3rd annual Bereaved Fun Show, along with many other rescue horses.
It's good for us to see horses that we took from a really bad situation doing so well and just making their new owners happy and everything. It's great. It's good.
Bunny isn't the most glamorous show horse on the fairgrounds, but her progress has been nothing short of incredible.
She was a very green horse, which means, lacked knowledge when she came into our program, and since then we've put quite a bit of training into her, and now she's a fantastic little family mare, and she can pack just about anybody.
While Bunny hopes to find her new permanent family, she still serves as a powerful reminder that there is such a thing as a second chance, even for horses.
Just because they're rescue horses doesn't mean that they're lesser horses, that just because humans failed them and they were in a bad situation doesn't mean that they can't go out and do this and, have fun with their owner, be useful in society again.
For WOUB, I'm Steven Hernandez.
Bunny's foal Thumper is now adopted with a new family. You can find details on Bunny and the other horses up for adoption at bellarunnequine.org. The difference between life and death could be 1 single degree when it comes to global warming. Scientists say this small percentage could have big impacts. Plus, we've all heard of walks or runs to raise money for a cause, but what about a tricycle race? These stories are coming up.
This fall is going fast, but don't get bored on us mid-season now. The playoff picture is starting to develop, and every game that we bring you will have playoff implications. Right now is one of the most exciting times of the fall, which means you can't afford to miss Friday nights with us. Live at 11:30, Gridiron Glory is here for you. And check out our Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube pages all throughout the week. They're chock full of coverage. So start your weekends with us. And remember, there's nothing better than Friday nights in Gridiron Glory.
This is a box that showed you a world beyond your own. It was just a box, but the world has changed, and so have we. And now the box can be almost any size or shape. And you decide what you want to explore. Anytime, any place. Break out of the box with PBS.
I'm such a huge fan of PBS. For my entire life, it's been our window into a world of the arts that isn't available anywhere else on TV. We learn about our numbers and our letters and singing through music, through the incredible children's programming they have. And then we grow up and we get to see the world of the arts, whether it's ballet or opera or Broadway, and so many other amazing moments that you wouldn't get anywhere else except for PBS.
I loved Ken Burns' series on the Civil War. It was deeply impacting. I love history. To have those stories told through these letters, through stories of love and loss, it rewrote the book on how to tell a story. When television was invented, there were a lot of people who had dreams about what it could do. I think PBS still aspires for and often succeeds at reaching the highest ideals of what television could be.
Supposed to be a day of birthday fun turned deadly in upstate New York on Saturday. 20 people were killed when a limo blew through an intersection and crashed into the woods. Now, investigators are trying to figure out what led to this tragic accident. Camila Bernal is in Schoharie with more.
This accident, it is such a horrific toll. I would say this is going to be, a watershed event for the limousine, industry.
An SUV limousine carrying a group of friends plowed through a stop sign at an intersection Saturday, colliding with a parked SUV, killing 20 people according to police. 18 people inside the limo were killed, along with 2 pedestrians. 4 sisters, at least one of their husbands, and several other young couples headed to celebrate a birthday. The National Transportation Safety Board is at the scene of the crash in upstate New York, trying to figure out what led to the tragedy.
We certainly want to look at the design of the roadway. We do know that there have been other crashes at this intersection. Investigators
will also want to talk to the limousine company. Experts say safety can be improved.
There are seat belts in the back. They're required to be, but you're not required to wear them.
We will certainly be looking at that, but I can tell you that wearing seat belts does save lives. Whether or not it would have made a difference here or not, that remains to be seen. But I would always encourage people to wear their seat belts.
Meanwhile, the families of the victims are left to mourn and to try to make sense of so many lives lost.
One has 2 little children and one has 1 child, and they now have no home or no parents.
In Schoharie, New York, I'm Camila Bernal reporting.
The governor of New York says the limousine involved in the crash failed a state inspection last month and that the driver did not have the appropriate license. Judge Brett Kavanaugh is now the newest Associate Supreme Court Justice. Kavanaugh was confirmed 48-51 on Saturday after a debate over sexual misconduct. His confirmation cemented a conservative majority on the Supreme Court. Ultimately, every Democrat except West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin voted against Kavanaugh, and every Republican except Alaska's Lisa Murkowski voted in favor. President Trump reacted today, saying the allegations against Kavanaugh were a hoax and that many Democrats will vote Republican in next month's midterm election.
It was all made up, it was fabricated, and it's a disgrace. And I think it's going to really show you something come November 6th.
Attorneys for Kavanaugh's accuser, Christine Blasey Ford, says she is dealing with the backlash after her testimony.
This has been terrifying. Her family has been through a lot. They are not living at home. The threats have been unending. It's deplorable.
CNN reports Blasey Ford says she has no regrets about testifying and does not want Kavanaugh impeached. Judge Kavanaugh is expected to begin hearing cases tomorrow. A Saudi journalist who contributed to the Washington Post is still missing. Journalist Jamal Khashoggi disappeared last week after visiting a Saudi consulate. Saudi officials say Khashoggi left the building, while Turkish officials say he did not. They believe he was killed at the consulate. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan says Saudi Arabia has the responsibility to prove its claim. An international report on global warming carries a life or death warning. A panel of scientists from around the world say if leaders could reduce future warming by less than a single degree Fahrenheit, it could save lives. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change issued the report yesterday. The report says if this happened, there would be fewer heat waves and more coral reefs and ice sheets. Some coastal areas of Florida are already evacuating as Hurricane Michael strengthens, and the governor is telling other areas, have a plan. That story's still ahead.
It was hot today. Fall's around the corner though. I'll let you know in my full forecast coming up, but first, here's a look at stocks of local interest.
WOUB is member-supported public television. Your contribution keeps WOUB available in your community. Become a member with a gift of $60 or more for access to stream more than 1,000 of your favorite PBS programs through WOUB Passport. Programs like Nature, Sherlock, and all episodes of Downton Abbey and Victoria. Pledge now at WOUB.org. And thank you.
I love PBS because at the heart of everything PBS does is education.
I use PBS not only in my home, but also in my classroom.
It's kind of the idea of being the great equalizer for learning and for education.
I'm a lifelong learner, and PBS has always been part of that journey for me.
I love PBS because PBS supports teachers.
They know what works for kids and what's best for kids, and that's why I love PBS.
What are you doing?
Possibilities. Your day is filled with them.
Reach up, energy in the fingertips, collapse.
TV, play Downton Abbey.
And PBS helps everyone discover theirs. Anytime, anywhere.
Up in the sky, you can see it.
PBS, we're with you for life.
PBS had a special on Pearl Harbor, and once Landon started watching the show about the Arizona, he completely became fascinated.
That's Donald Stratton, and that's me.
And then his Christmas wish this year was to meet Donald Stratton, one of the survivors from the Arizona.
So good to see you, buddy.
Everything that Landon has learned from PBS, it's immeasurable.
This is for you.
Thank you, big guy.
He is living proof of the effect that PBS has had on his life.
These dark clouds in Mexico are the beginning of Hurricane Michael, and experts say they are headed toward Florida. The hurricane is expected to reach the U.S. Gulf Coast by tomorrow night or Wednesday morning, and residents are being told to prepare. Mary Maloney has this report.
This storm will be life-threatening and extremely dangerous.
Florida Governor Rick Scott warning residents of the Gulf Coast region to get prepared. Hurricane Michael is on its way.
This storm will bring torrential rain to most of the Panhandle and Big Bend, which means flooding will be a major issue.
Currently a Category 1 storm impacting parts of Cuba and the Yucatan Peninsula. Hurricane Michael is expected to strengthen before it makes landfall in the U.S. Heavy rainfall and winds well over 100 miles per hour are expected.
It's forecast to grow stronger and could make landfall as a major Category 3 storm on Wednesday along the Gulf Coast.
And if landfall happens at high tide, Michael's storm surge could be anywhere between 2 and 12 feet. The coastal areas of Gulf County, Florida, have already received a mandatory evacuation order. Governor Scott says everyone else needs to make a plan.
We have to take this very seriously. Families should take this opportunity to get 3 days of food and water and make sure all medications are ready.
President Trump says FEMA and the federal government are paying attention to the storm and are also getting prepared.
As Hurricane Michael nears landfall, we urge all residents to be prepared and to heed local officials.
I'm Mary Maloney reporting.
Governor Scott is also warning people that they will not survive the storm surge, and impact from wind and rain could begin as early as tomorrow night. Now, Cameron, how will all of this affect us here in Southeast Ohio?
It should not actually affect us. It should only be affecting the southern part, as it is expected to ride the coast until it moves off the sea. Welcome back to the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm your forecaster, Cameron Saliga, and we see outside it's 82 degrees. It is hot out there, and there are some passing clouds with winds coming out of the southeast at 5 miles per hour. And we see temps right now. It is in the 80s all throughout the area, 83 in Ripley, 82 in Athens, and the sun is out with some clouds out there as well. As we see precipcast, right now we see this low pressure down here. We also see this is Hurricane Michael right now, is expected to make landfall sometime Wednesday and ride the coast, and this is the low pressure that should move it off to sea later on. As we see tonight in Athens, it's going to be around 65, and it's going to be some passing clouds, and it will be humid tonight. With a south wind at 5 to 10 miles per hour, and we should see there is very above normal highs for this part of the year. Near record high set in 1949 of 90 degrees, and our low is above average by over 20 degrees. And we will see tonight in Athens 75 out there with a few clouds, and by midnight it'll be 73 with a few clouds, and then we'll start to clear by 6 a.m. tomorrow. And we'll start to see the sun come out. And we see temperatures tonight 65 in Athens, 64 in New Lexington, and up in Columbus, we'll see a temperature of 67 with some passing clouds. Bus stop tomorrow, 67, clouds clearing. It'll be humid with a wind out of the south of 5 to 10 miles per hour. And we can see tomorrow it's going to be around 85. It's going to be hot and humid with a wind of 0 to 5 miles per hour, so it'll be very sticky out there. We see temperatures 86 in New Lexington, 85 in Athens. Down in Ripley, we'll see a high of around 87, very unseasonable for this time. And we see the day planner tomorrow starting off at 8 a.m. and it's going to start out partly cloudy with 67 degrees. By 10 a.m., 73, and by noon, we'll see a temperature of 81 with sun in the forecast. We see Tuesday starting off 85, and we'll drop down to 80 by Wednesday with some showers and the front moving through, bringing our cool temperatures to the area on Thursday and into the weekend. And we'll start to see these temperatures stick around for a while, as I do not expect summer to come back at all throughout this season. Back to you.
Thanks, Cameron. One local marching band is celebrating after winning at this weekend's Athens Area Marching Band Festival. The Bern Union Golden Rocket Marching Band from Sugar Grove was named the grand champion for its performance about Julius Caesar. The festival took place on Saturday and featured 8 performances from high school marching bands from around the area. This was the 44th annual festival. Bern Union will compete in the state finals on October 27th. Now let's head over to Nick to see what's ahead in sports.
How's it going, everyone? I'm Nick Niehaus. Coming up, I will give you the updated standings on both divisions of the TVC Conference in case you missed last Friday night's football results. And OU football head coach Frank Solich got his 100th win as a Bobcat. Hear how they made an amazing comeback for the win. All that and more coming up next on Newswatch. And stay tuned to WOUB. Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
This is a box that showed you a world beyond your own. It was just a box, but the world has changed, and so have we. And now the box can be almost any size or shape. And you decide what you want to explore. Anytime, any place. Break out of the box with PBS.
This fall is going fast, but don't get bored on us mid-season now. The playoff picture is starting to develop, and every game that we bring you will have playoff implications. Right now is one of the most exciting times of the fall. Which means you can't afford to miss Friday nights with us. Live at 11:30, Gridiron Glory is here for you. And check out our Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube pages all throughout the week. They're chock full of coverage. So start your weekends with us. And remember, there's nothing better than Friday nights in Gridiron Glory.
I'm such a huge fan of PBS. For my entire life, it's been our window into a world of the arts that isn't available anywhere else on TV. We learn about our numbers and our letters and singing through music, through the incredible children's programming they have. And then we grow up and we get to see the world of the arts, whether it's ballet or opera or Broadway, and so many other amazing moments that you wouldn't get anywhere else except for PBS.
WOUB is member-supported public television. Your contribution keeps WOUB available in your community. Become a member with a gift of $60 or more for access to stream more than 1,000 of your favorite PBS programs through WOUB Passport. Programs like Nature, Sherlock, and all episodes of Downton Abbey and Victoria. Pledge now at WOUB.org. And thank you.
Welcome back. I'm Nick Niehaus. Another week down means we are closer to the postseason for Ohio high school football, but things are still being shaken up in the TVC Hawking. Still leading the way in first place is Trimble. They are perfect in conference so far. Belpre jumped a couple spots this week with a 5-1 Hawking record. Same as Southern, but they get that tiebreaker from the victory over the Tornadoes. Waterford's in unfamiliar territory at number 4, but they've played one less conference game than those above them, and that is why they see themselves drop in the standings. On to the TVC Ohio. The Athens Bulldogs have 2 more wins than anyone else in the conference, but are tied with rival Nelsonville York. They both have a perfect resume in Ohio so far at 3-0. Close behind them is Wellston at 2-1, and they get a chance to climb to the top this week as they face off against Athens on Friday night. Meigs and Alexander are tied for 4th place despite Alexander having the 2nd best overall record in the Ohio at 4-3. And at the bottom is Vinton County and River Valley, who have both yet to find a win in the Ohio. Moving to college sports, the Ohio Bobcats travel to Kent State and won in comeback fashion. The Cats were down 17-7 at the half, but were led by star quarterback Nathan Rourke once again. He scored the final touchdown with 1:28 left in the game to take the 1-point lead, and Javon Hagan, the junior corner, sealed it with a pick. This gave Frank Solich his 100th win as Bobcats head coach. After the game, he spoke out about how he handled the congratulatory response from friends and family.
Quite a few texts, got a fair number of calls.
How'd you handle all that?
Texted back and said thanks for the call.
Gotta love it. The OU women's soccer team was also in action this weekend. They traveled to Buffalo to face off against the 9-4 Bulls, and for the 3rd straight game needed extra time to decide a winner. Sydney Leckie tied it up in the 87th minute, and Olivia Molesky finished it off in the 97th minute with a goal, giving the Bobcats the victory 2-1. They are now 3-3 in the MAC. Now to the paid athletes. It was both a good day for both Ohio teams this Sunday. First, the Cincinnati Bengals took care of business against the AFC East Dolphins 27-17. Cincinnati native and OSU alum Sam Hubbard sealed the deal for the Bengals on this fumble recovery for a touchdown to go up 2 scores with under 3 minutes left in the game. With this win, they maintain first place in the AFC North at 4-1. On to the Browns. They had a chance to win in regulation with this 55-yard kick from Greg Joseph, but it sails way left. Didn't have a chance, but in OT he gets another chance. This one from 37 yards, and it looked like it was tipped from the ball flight, but goes in anyway. Not pretty. Gets the job done, though. They win 12-9 OT. Their first Sunday win in over 1,000 days. They are now 2-2-1. So good news for Cleveland fans there, but not here. The Cleveland Indians were officially eliminated from the MLB playoffs just about an hour ago at the hands of the Houston Astros with a score of 11-3. It was all close until the 8th inning where the Astros scored 6 runs to put away the Tribe. They will face the winner of the series between New York and Boston. I'm Nick Niehaus, and that's it for sports. Back to you, Abby.
Thanks, Nick. Riding tricycles was not just for kids on Saturday. Athens residents came together for a day of tricycle races to support those with cardiovascular disease. The event donated all of the money to the Ohio Heart Health Fund. Tricycle teams competed against one another in the Oblenis Hospital parking lot. Proceeds from this year's event will be put towards ensuring schools in the area are equipped with defibrillators, as well as making CPR training more available. Now, Cameron, let's take a final look at weather.
Thank you, and we'll see that tonight in Athens. It'll start out at 8 p.m. around 75, a few clouds here and there, and by midnight we'll see 73 with a few clouds, and we'll start to see clearing by 6 a.m. for a sunny day tomorrow, and we see that on here. Tuesday, 85 sun, and by Wednesday we'll start to see this cold front starting to move through in the afternoon, bringing with us rain into Thursday, and then we'll start to see on the weekend a beautiful weekend, but it'll be a very chilly weekend, and we'll start the week off next Monday with a chance of rain in the 60s. Back to you.
Thanks, Cameron. And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Abby Crozet. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org. Have a great night.